Do your thoughts affect what you manifest? In other words, do your thoughts create your reality? Well, it's exactly what we're talking about today on Mindful Manifesting. You're listening to Aryana Rollins. But before we do that, I would love to share my updated workbook to help you jumpstart your manifesting, because sometimes things aren't flowing and we want to ferret out why. So if you go to highertrueself.com, you can get kickstart your manifesting journey. All right. So let's dive in. Now, we live with other humans on this planet. Of course, we know this. And there is a philosophy of thought that says we are a human tribe, and that all one human tribe, all connected through our thoughts, maybe all connected with our heart. But what does that mean to you as an individual? Well, years ago, it was really irking me when I would hear people say platitudes, because I could feel it wasn't quite the whole story. It wasn't quite just truth, but I didn't know. I could just feel it in my body. Don't think so. Don't think so. So I did some thinking, and I feel very graced that sometimes my intuition, or we could say my unconscious mind, is helping me direct my intentions to what it is that I'm looking to, a problem to solve, or something I'm learning, or a person that is going to help me connect the dots in a conversation. And I'm very grateful that I get that a lot in my life. So I started reading things, started doing a little bit more research. And then I came upon this thing that just really, actually, it was kind of an intuitive awareness. It really stuck with me. Okay, I'm going to share it. And I wish you could see me because I'm putting my fingers together. So if you take your two index fingers, you put them next to each other, right? So your hands are together, and you've got an index finger on the left and an index finger on the right. And look at that. What does it make? Number 11, right? Take them apart. It's an individual. So I started to realize as I was studying a little bit more about astrology, and I'm not someone who purports that astrology can dictate your future, not by any means, or determine who you are. No, it can give you some signposts. It's interesting. That's all. And sometimes I really dive into it and enjoy it. And sometimes like, whoa, that's a little bit too projecting for me. Back off, bud. So looking at these two numbers, and this is what came to me as I was reading astrology about the Aquarius age. Please bear with me. Don't tune out, because I think this is going to be one of my most important podcast recordings. So bear with me here, even if you don't follow astrology. Is that the number 11 represents the 11th house, which represents Aquarius. And we've heard, from the 60s music, we're going into the Aquarian age, whatever that means. There's all sorts of interpretations. So as I was kind of studying and I saw the number 11 and it's one finger and another finger, we are separate. We are not merged in our consciousness with other people. We have come to have a human experience in a very separate body. Yes, we can merge at times, which feels like it, during certain intimate acts, but we are still separate. We have our own individual thoughts. We have our own individual feelings. And yes, we can pick up other people's thoughts and feelings. So I thought, I think this Aquarian age, if it's really that what it is that we're an individual. So maybe you're the left hand and I'm the right hand, and we're the index fingers standing together. And we are powerful when we stand with another. There's a great biblical quote. You will rarely hear me quote biblical quotes, but when two or more gather in my name. And I think gather in my name is gather in truth. gather in truth, when two or more gather in truth, then there is power that happens. There is awareness, insights, intuition. And it can further our manifestation, further our intention. It can help ourselves, it can help others. Because I'm sure you've had an intuitive awareness that helps a friend or a family member. Okay, so winding back to, do our thoughts create our reality? I would say yes and no. Bear with me. There are 8 billion people having thoughts and feelings on this planet right now? And given that we are not solo on this planet, we are not one index finger by ourselves, there are others, I surmise is that other people's thoughts influence the current reality. So if you think about that, if you are beating yourself up for not following through on your goals and intentions, or you're not manifesting from thought alone, and I have used that term before. In fact, it's in one of my favorite webinars that I teach, Manifesting from Thought Alone. Here's the thing. We are on a journey of being an individual and part of society, part of the collective. It's not either or. And I think people who go their own way, and I've known friends like that, who get afraid of relating to other people because they don't like their energy, don't want to be influenced. And then there are people who kind of merge and they buy into whatever the collective is spouting. If you want to know what that is, look on social media. And you will see beliefs out there that without discernment, we can take it on. So I don't believe either way is healthy. I don't believe either way is fun. I don't think we enjoy our life nearly as much as we can if we're an individual and we're doing it with other individuals. So we're an individual and we're doing it with other individuals. So do our thoughts create our reality? They do influence. I will say that. They do influence. So I'm just going to touch on this, and we're not going to go into deep depth of detail. So I record these podcasts real time. I'm not someone who records a bunch of them, at least at this moment, put them in a can, and I pull them out when I need to do a podcast. So this is real time. I've got 3 of my best friends living in Asheville, North Carolina, and you know what happened there. You know the storm and the hurricane. And I'm touching base with them daily, several times a day, to see how things are going. Well, I posted an image of a place that I had actually gone to with my friends there, Chimney Rock, which is near Lake Lure in Asheville. Gorgeous place. Well, I saw that the whole town, and my friend had told me the whole town was washed away. A whole town, my friends, gone. Now, I know this can happen in hurricanes and storms, in the Caribbean or in Florida. I know this. But I just didn't think it would happen in Nashville. So I was reading a post. Somebody commented on a post that I had made. And they were saying, there's a theory, and there's this woman I'm listening to that says wherever there is a conscious community or groups of conscious communities, that they're being targeted. And this person had mentioned Maui, and this person was referring to Asheville. So I'm reading that. I respect the view, and I respond, yikes, if that's true. Wow. And that's a thought, my friend. That's a thought that can influence your emotions and your thinking. So what if we were to believe that? It could create fear in our body. It could create feelings of hopelessness, helplessness. What can we do? There's something out there that's controlling us. And those are the thoughts that I think we need to use thought police over. How do you handle it? Because what if it is true? What if it isn't true? Do we have the awareness to know if it is? And does it right now influence your reality? Well, if you think about it and you go down that rabbit hole, it will influence your reality, because we've just given our power away to that belief. So what do? You acknowledge it. May be true, Maybe. And I don't right now know if that's the case, but I'm choosing to not allow that to affect my center of gravity right now. And this may be harsh, but there's nothing you could do about it at that moment, unless you want to go take a deep dive research and figure out what the truth is. And if that's the case, I admire you. But most people have a lot of things they've got to get done in their life. Take care of their work, their business, their family, themselves. So catching what I call thought forms, yes, a thought form. And I use that term catching deliberately because we can catch thought forms just like we can catch quotes around it, a cold. Now, it's not that the cold or the virus or the bacteria came from somebody else, but it triggers something in us that resonates. Bear with me here. There's really important understanding. There is no psychic attack out there. There is no I'm catching a cold from someone else or a virus contagion unless we are resonating on that frequency. And then, of course, we breathe it in, we take it in, and we manifest it in our body as a health issue. And I've witnessed this. If my vibration is low, if my immune system's low, if I'm not sleeping good, if I'm having worries and negative thoughts and fears like I did about the Asheville thing and my friends. I had trouble sleeping last night because they're going to get some more rain this week. So, catching the thoughts. One of the ways you can ask yourself, how do I feel when I think that? How do I feel? Oh, I feel sad. I feel afraid. Okay. How do I feel when I think this other thought? And really start to tune your radio set, your headset. So I think of our brain as we've got little tuning forks in the brain. And that when we are thinking about something, there are other people thinking that thought, and we can harmonize, which I think in a way is kind of love, what love is. We harmonize, and it feels good to be around that person. Well, when someone is thinking maybe a mean thought, aggressive thought, a challenging thought, and we're thinking love thoughts or feeling love, we're not going to harmonize. So we're not going to resonate. We're not going to kind of move near that person and want more of it. We're going to separate. So let's go back to that 11. 1 and 1. So we can move away. I mean, we are smart. We are an evolving human consciousness. We are intelligent. So moving away from what doesn't feel good in your own thinking or feeling, moving away from what you're reading on social media or the internet or using ChatGPT to come up with a social media post or something that you want to create, if a program is, if it does not resonate with you, my friends, if it does not feel aligned, trust that. Move away and dismiss it. Don't take it on board. We don't need to stop and ferret out if it's true or not. Register your feelings. You have an incredibly sensitive body that you're loaned while you're on this planet. And if you allow that body to serve you and you take care of it and you serve it and you've got this alignment, this harmony, magic and miracles can happen because you'll know what to move towards, you'll know what to move away. So let's get back to, does your thinking create your reality? It can influence it. So if you have something important you want to change about yourself or your life, you want to accomplish something, be aware of who you share that with. When I teach the Highest Potential program, I strongly advise people don't share the content of your objective with anyone else. Because especially those who are closest to us, I don't know, let's say an example that someone is a small business owner. And they're taking this program, this coaching program, and it's going to help them make $1 million this year. And they have their best friend is struggling and they're making, I don't know, $50,000 a year. Well, it's kind of human nature that we want to keep our friends and our loved ones close. And so if we share that, share where we're going, and that friend is feeling insecure in themselves, their business, their path, they could have a thought or feeling, oh, she's going to make other friends and we're not going to be as close. I mean, it's just human nature. We do that. So don't share if you're making a big shift until you've accomplished it. Yes, of course, share it with your unconscious mind. If you want to learn more about that, reach out to me, because that's something I love to do, because that's your champion, that's your supporter. So do your thoughts create your reality? No, I don't think it created an accident. I don't think it created a loss of a job. I don't think it created a loss of a client. But I think our thinking and our feeling can influence. And over time, when that goes unchecked, that we are not paying attention, we're not aware of our thinking and our feeling, then yes, my friends, it influences our outcomes. So let's play a game, and then we'll start to wrap up. If you want to change how you're thinking about something, I invite you to make it conscious. Write it down on a piece of paper. Put it on a fridge so that when you go into the refrigerator, you see it and you catch yourself with that thinking. And if you want to change it, so let's say there's an example. I'll never shed this weight. Something like that. Gosh, I put on 5 pounds and just in 2 days. So you've got the reality of the scale, okay? And so I'll never shed this weight is a terrible thought, which will then influence your emotions, and it will influence how your day unfolds. You're going to beat yourself up. So catch those thoughts and think, is that a loving thought? I don't think so. Write those things down that aren't loving thoughts. And then when you have it, there's a term that came to me when I was thinking about this, harmony of the 1 and the 11 and all that, is switch channels. I think it's a powerful expression. Switch channels. Think of something that makes that thought invalid. Well, I have shed 5 pounds before. It'll happen again. So it's got to be in reality, and it's not a counseling thought. It's not something that is a simple feel-good affirmation. Yeah, I'm shedding that weight. I'm doing it right now. When you know the reality is you'd put 5 pounds on when you look at the scale, or 5 kilos, or however you measure your weight, or stone, which when I lived in England, we measured it by stone. So interesting. So make it real. Yeah, it is possible. I have shed 5 pounds before. I have shed 5 kilos. Do you see the softness? Do you feel the truth? That's why affirmations don't work a lot of the times, because we're taking the apparent opposite, which is too polar, to our current reality, and we can't get there. It's too big a leap. It's like, I don't know, Evel Knievel. I don't know why I thought of that. The guy who used to ride motorcycles and jump across these huge caverns. Did he start out with that? No. He started little ones, and then he built up to that. So catch your thoughts, soften them to something that you can believe. Soften your thought to something you can believe, and notice how that shifts. All right, this was a roundabout episode, but I hope you got something from it, and I would love it if you would share the episode with a friend if it resonated for you, and if you would give a review for Mindful Manifesting where you listen to your favorite podcasts. All right, so much love. And as we wrap up, remember, as you confirm yourself, you chart your own path to success. Brings back in why I say don't share your big goals to people, because you want to confirm yourself. Confirm yourself. Because we don't want to be influenced when that little seedling of our goal or idea is like a little baby plant. We don't want it accidentally getting squashed. All right, so much love again. Have a great rest of your day. Thanks for sharing your time with me.